Just got off the phone with head coach Bird at Texas A&M. Loved the conversation. Very chill, very laid back, and it was a FaceTime. So we talked about a lot of things, and it was less of a volleyball conversation because I already had one of those with the other coaches at A&M, but this was more of like a get to know you, chill type conversation, which I absolutely love. And yeah, it sounds good. Living at A&M, would definitely love to go down there and check things out.
Oh, you checked things out already. You committed, and now you're an A&M volleyball player. So we're at the net. Someone's about to serve, and they must have did one too many bounces because I get impatient, and I turn around to look behind me. Boom, Florida, LSU, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa, Iowa State. Like, all these coaches are just lined up in like their quarter zips and their polos. And when I tell you, I just turned around and I was like, what the HE double hockey sticks did I just see? Let me know if you guys want to know more about like sports recruits and my recruiting, even though I feel like I gave y'all this sauce. Like I personally, if I was a recruit, I'd take this video and run with it. You know what I'm saying? This is free game. They don't give you game the way I just gave you game, right? So I personally would take the video and run with it. And like when I was getting recruited, there were just certain things that like I knew I wasn't going for, right? Like, for example, I'm from Nebraska. Our seasons are our seasons, right? Summers are summers, falls are falls, springs are springs. But baby, one thing that's for certain is that winter is gonna be a winter. It's gonna be brisk, it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be dry, it's gonna be brittle, like all that, right? So I knew good and well there was no shot that I'm going to college somewhere cold. So take the United States, split it horizontally. I'm not going anywhere above Nebraska. Like there was you could sell me on like the West Coast, right? Like a little Oregon, a little North California, maybe. Just maybe you'll get me. What do you mean New Hampshire? What do you mean New York? What do you mean New England? That little Pennsylvania? No, I'm not doing that. Like the idea of waking up on a Monday morning and going to class in 4-degree weather, no. Well, that's not happening. The idea of going to a football game and sitting outside in the cold, how is that a selling point? Like I'm not doing. Speaking of football, I'm talking to this one school. Oh yeah, like, you know, we're a great program. Like we built it from the ground up. Like over these last couple of years, we've been doing really well. Like our facilities are pretty updated. We don't have a football team, but we just got new Terraflex. Our locker rooms. You don't have a what? Yeah. We don't have a football team, but I mean, like, I'm out of here. What do you mean you don't have a football team? And like, it's not even like my priorities aren't straight, bro. Because like, you know, like I'm going for volleyball. But what do you mean you don't have a football team? And why do you think I'm going there if you don't have a, like, I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to come to school that doesn't have a football team, but I'm not. Especially because I was obsessed with football at the time. I still am now, but I was just not going to a school that didn't have a football team. Like, that just wasn't happening. I'm sorry, my dear. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Etal, and for those of you guys who are not new, hello, thanks for coming back. For today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about my volleyball career, start to present, from like when I started volleyball club, how I got recruited, how my recruiting process went, why A&M, all that good stuff. So if you guys haven't already, subscribe. If you haven't liked the video because you don't know that you will, wait till the end. I assure you this will be good. And then give it a thumbs up and go ahead and follow me on all my other social media if you don't already. Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff will either be at the end of the video or down below in the description. And without doing too much talking, let's get into the video. Alright, so for those of you guys who don't know, my name again is Etal. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, if that matters at any point in the story. But whenever people ask me when I started playing volleyball, I always say 14, right? Because that's when volleyball actually started mattering and getting serious and all that good stuff. But truth be told, the first time I ever touched volleyball was in the 5th grade. And for frame of reference, I went to a private Catholic grade school, right? We had like 120 students, and that's from pre-K 3 to the 8th grade, right? So very small school. Sports wasn't like a big deal or a big thing, right? But I digress. 5th grade, volleyball tryouts come around, and me and 4 of my other friends, I still remember my name, hope they're doing well, we literally all just look at each other and we look at the tryouts like announcement, and we're like, if you do it, I'll do it. If you do it, I'll do it. You do it, right? Like, we're all homegirls, either all in or none in, right? And we end up like deciding to try out. So tryouts come along, we all try out, we all make the team, because who else was going to, right? There are 120 of us and only like 14 of us want to play volleyball. So everyone made the team, and again, that's about how it went from 5th grade all the way up until the 8th grade. We played YMCA volleyball, 6 rotation, like I'm talking like zone 1 to zone 2 to zone 3 to zone 4 to like, that's how we rotated, right? There were no setters, there were no right sides, no middles, no, like nothing. We just played volleyball. Underhand serving up until like 7th, 8th grade. Nothing crazy, right? So 8th grade comes around, and the only reason that I'm bringing up 8th grade is because this was the first year that I had played organized volleyball. And at this point, like I am, what, like 13, 14, right? So 8th grade comes around, and I play for my first club team ever. And this was like a 1-year thing. I didn't end up going back to this club. I didn't end up playing club after, actually, for a second. But I played for Nebraska Top Flight, and that as well was just like super small local club. We would play on Saturdays and Sundays at like a local facility. No like travel, no, nothing crazy, right? So boom, that happens, and then I'm rushing through because this is all just like the background, right? None of this made me who I am now. None of this matters. High school comes around, and this is my freshman year of high school, and with the experience that I told you guys, I hope you guys don't think I'm any good at volleyball. But what I am is 6'4" and athletic. So volleyball season comes around, I try out for volleyball, and I make the freshman team. And towards the end of the season, I was swinging JV, but I played freshman, right? And of course, I just told you guys I'm 6'4". I'm a black girl. You can bet your bottom dollar they stuck me right there in the middle and tried to make that work. So freshman year, I swung JV, played middle. That was cool. Again, nothing too crazy, nothing too competitive. It's literally the freshman team. Like, no, yeah, like it doesn't, yeah. And then my sophomore year of high school comes around, and I'm now on the JV team, swinging up and playing varsity, right? And my sophomore year was literally so critical to my volleyball career, like literally insane, right? So sophomore year, volleyball starts in August, try out, make JV, swing up varsity, play JV the whole entire year. And the only time I actually like sat on the bench when it mattered was when we made it towards the end of the season, because JV seasons obviously don't go into like districts and things like that to prepare for state, right? So JV season ends and districts come around, and we're playing at Millard South for districts, and we end up losing, but Papio South had to have been playing after us because Alyssa LeGrand, God bless that woman's sweet soul, Alyssa LeGrand, who was the parent of Ava LeGrand, who was a player on the Papio South team. She's at K-State now. Shout out Ava, love you. She's at K-State now. Her mom, Alyssa, comes up to my high school coach, and she's just like, hey, like, you know, you guys have got this girl, like, you tall, like, I don't know of her playing for any other club, because she's a club director. She's like, I don't know of her playing for any other club, and if she's, like, interested at all, we want her to come play for our club. And she was the club director at Nebraska Juniors, which I'll sit down and have a heated debate with anybody. Nebraska Juniors was the best club in the state of Nebraska. Literally, no argument, no debate. If you thought you were better than us, play us. Which we played, y'all, and we... Anyway. So yeah, Nebraska Juniors was the club that she was the director for, and she kind of just gave my coach a rundown and was like, hey, like, we just wanted to come play for our club. And my coach brings this information to me, which at this point, okay, flashback. Let's go back to high school, right? For my high school, I went to Omaha Central, and if you know about Omaha at all, Central's right here, and Creighton University is like right here, right? So for team bonding, we would literally walk across the street and go to Creighton University and watch volleyball games. And I had a teammate, Ray Hawkins, love that girl. She literally, we were watching the Creighton game, she was like, Ital, like, do you know that, like, once you get coordinated and, like, learn how to use your body, like, you would literally be able to play for Creighton. Like, you could easily play for, like, Creighton or, like, another D1 team. I'm eating my popcorn looking at this girl like she has lost her mind. Because there's, like, in my head, volleyball, first of all, not that I didn't take the sport seriously, but it just wasn't big to me. Like, it wasn't real, right? There was no shot that I was going to play for Creighton, let alone leave the state, like, in the name of volleyball and all that good stuff, right? So that wasn't, like, real to me. So when she came up to me and she was like, well, my coach came up to me and she was like, hey, like Alyssa wants you to play for like her club and they want to like have you be on the roster, all that good stuff. I'm not like right? It's not clicking. I'm just like, oh, cool, like, huh? And I told you guys I played that 1 year club in the 8th grade, but I didn't play my freshman year of high school. So at that point, club wasn't even, like, I wasn't thinking about club. Had they not come up to me, I would not have played club my sophomore year of high school. And I probably would not have like ended up on the path that I'm on right now. So again, Alyssa, you deserve the whole entire world and every good thing that would ever happen to man. But yeah, we want you to play for our club. Cool. Go home, take the idea to my mom. And my mom, like, there are two kinds of moms, right, when it comes to sports. There's like the sport mom, and then there's just like the mom, right? And my mom was like a mom. And it's not even that, like, in the sense of, oh, coming to games and things like that. But my mom just wasn't a volleyball mom. Like, she wasn't like the come to like every game and come to club tournaments and like, she wasn't a volleyball mom, right? Volleyball was probably one of the last things on her mind. So I'm like telling my mom, like, hey, she wants us like to come play for her club, like all this good stuff, like blah 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 blah. And mom was just like, okay, all right, okay. And me too. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Like, I didn't understand how big and insane that would have been for me. But we kind of just take the idea and sit on it, right? So Alyssa and my club coach, or Alyssa and my high school coach, sorry, end up getting me and my mom together, and we go to downtown Omaha. It's like a little sports bar, and we end up having dinner together, right? Just to go over the idea of like me playing for their club and what that looks like travel and things like that, right? And I vividly remember this being like, it had to have been November at this point, just because our season was over, and I think like Nebraska State, like high school volleyball was about to be over. So we're like in the October, November range, right? And I just remember we're at a sports bar, volleyball being on TV, and Florida was playing. And this is going to be so crazy because this connects later in my story, but Florida was playing, and Alyssa looks at me and she's just like, do you understand that you could play for Florida one day? Like you could play for a team like Florida. You could play, her daughter played at USC. You could play for a team like USC. You could play for all these. And I'm just listening. I'm like, like eating my spinach artichoke dip. Yeah, like, and not in like a way that I'm not listening, because I am, but I'm just not grasping, again, this concept of volleyball being as huge as it was in my life, right? So we basically have our dinner, we talk, she's just like, okay, this is the rundown, this is where our facility is, like, you'll be in Lincoln, which, if you guys don't know, Lincoln is a 45-minute drive from Nebraska, so it was out of the way to end up, like, playing for them and practicing twice a week there, but it ended up working out that my high school coach coached at the club as well, so it was just, like, kind of tag along, take drives to Lincoln, bonding, all that good stuff, super cute. So, yeah, tryouts come around, and I'm trying out for this club. No, none of these girls, and most of them like came in packs from their high school, right? So the Grand Island girls came from Grand Island, the Kearney girls came from Kearney, the Little Town girls came from their little towns, the Papio girls came, like, everyone came in their bunches. The Bellevue girls came from Bellevue, and like it was just me, right? So I'm just like, okay, just play volleyball. You don't know what anything means, you don't know what's up for grabs here, like you don't get it, just play volleyball, right? And assuming that they already had a position for me, considering they asked me to come play for them, me playing volleyball must have did it, because I ended up making the team, right? So I make the team my 16th year, and if you are a sophomore in college right now, you know where this story's about to go. Make the team my 16th year, it's January, cool, we're playing, like, you know, January's always that, like, might have like 2 or 3 like weekend tournaments, but nothing too crazy, right? February comes around, you might hop out of town, you know, go to like a little regional tournament somewhere nice close to your city, nothing too crazy yet, right? Boom, it's March, I'm talking Colorado Crossroads, like all the big tournaments, and COVID just so happens to make an appearance that shuts the whole entire world down. So I didn't get to like play out my 16th year club, but I did have President's Day, which President's Day, Kansas City, huge tournament, if you know, you know. I had President's Day in Kansas City, and I guess that was enough to do it, right? And I vividly have this memory of President's Day, being at the net, me on the right side, boom, on my left we got Brenna. Brenna's about 6'6", small country town girl, so you know she's got a good build on her. Like, I love Brenna. If I could go back to my club days, y'all, like, I so would. I love Brenna with my whole entire heart. The girl's at K-State now doing her thing, wish her the best. Brenna's next to me, 6'4" middle, 6'6" right side. Like, we're 16. Like, we're on a 16s team with a 6'4" middle, 6'5" if we're rounding up, and a 6'6" right side, right? You know the coaches were flocking. So we're at the net. Someone's about to serve, and they must have did one too many bounces because I get impatient, and I turn around to look behind me. Boom, Florida, LSU, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa, Iowa State. Like, all these coaches are just lined up in like their quarter zips and their polos. And when I tell you, I just turned around and I was like, what the HE double hockey sticks did I just see? Like, that was the first time. And I'm telling you guys, right? Like, oh, you told you could play for Crayon, right? Like, you could play for Florida, like not mimicking, just, you know, like volleyball could be huge, all this stuff. And it's just like, right. When I turned around and saw those coaches behind me, that was when it first like clicked to me. I'm like, okay, like this is real, this is business, like we're at it for real, right? So boom. President's Day, like only huge tournament that I got my 16th year before we had to go into recruiting, right? So at this point, it's like April. We already know that COVID is shut down because originally what it was supposed to be is, oh, we're just not going to Colorado Crossroads because of COVID. But then by like end of March, it's like, all right, bro, we're not doing anything. Club season's over. It's a wrap. Like, hang your lace. Like, we're done, right? So end of April, May comes around, and our coaches start talking to us about recruiting because it is our 16th year, and that's when coaches can start talking to you, right? So we end up talking about recruiting, and y'all, I actually had to ask my coach to make sure this was okay. SportsRecruits. It's all, how do you get recruited? SportsRecruits. How do you reach out to coaches? SportsRecruits. How, like, you get your film out? SportsRecruits. And I know at the time, like, my club had, like, something going on with them. Like, it was, like, a partnership or something. And that's why we used that special, like outlet to get our film out. And I'm not telling you to go make a SportsRecruits account and, like, all your dreams will come true. But, y'all, when I'm telling you guys, SportsRecruits was, like, what made recruiting even, like, possible for me. And if you guys don't know what SportsRecruits is, let me give y'all a quick rundown of the app or the website. It's a website. I don't know if there's an app, but let me give y'all a quick rundown. Okay, so here goes SportsRecruits, and I don't know how it's going to show up for y'all. Don't know if it's going to focus. Actually, that'd be a great place to start. But here goes SportsRecruits, and as you guys can see, it says my name, it says my grad year, how many college coaches have viewed my profile, how many schools I have contacted, how many schools I have favorited, all that good stuff, right? And basically how SportsRecruits worked, and this is like when I like advice. If you don't get SportsRecruits, this is how I do it anyway. My coaches had us write a generic email, and let me go actually find the email that I wrote and read it to you guys. So this is the email that I sent to every coach. I'm gonna show you guys. You guys won't be able to see. It's the one that I sent to Texas A&M because that's where I'm at right now. The subject line: Italapio, 6'6", middle blocker / opposite, Nebraska Juniors, class of 2022. Hello, coach. My name is Italapio, and I'm a sophomore at Omaha Central High School and play for Nebraska Juniors 16 Black, my club team. I'm interested in learning more about your program and what you have available for the class of 2022. Hopefully we get the chance to talk a little bit more after June 15th. Attached below are my highlights from the 2020 club season. Hope you and your program are staying safe and healthy. COVID. Thank you. And then I have Alyssa LeGrand, my club director, her contact, phone number and email. Ryan Crooms, who was my head coach my 18th year and my 17th year because I played 18s. Recruiting coordinator, his number, his email. My head coach my 16th year, Jake, his number, his email, and then my high school coach, her number, her email, right? So super like simple. Oh, I wish you guys could see better. Super simple format, right? And when I tell you this part, you guys are gonna see, this email got copied and pasted to every single coach I wanted to send it to, right? And that's where like SportsRecruits was so important because that's what it did for me, right? Like it allowed me to go in and say, I'm like writing an email. This is a blank subject page. You guys cannot see. I'm writing an email. This is a blank subject space. If I go in right here and type like TXAX and put in, let's see, Texas A&M, Texas A&M University, College Station, it literally, if you guys can see, will put in not only the school's like coach, but the school's assistant coach, the school's assistant coach, the school's head coach, the school, like it will tag everybody from that school. You'll go into the subject line, your name, your height, your position, your school, like, or your club year and your club name. And when I tell you nobody command C'd and command V'd better than me when it came to recruiting, not a joke. SportsRecruits literally did all of the hard work for me because they had every coach's contact, right? So one day, and I was like, I want to talk to LSU. Sent that email to LSU. Sent that email to Tennessee. Sent that email all the SEC schools because I wanted to play in the SEC. Sent it to all the SEC schools. Sent it to all the, like, even if you think it was far-fetched, right? My 16th year, there's no shot I thought I was going to be playing for Nebraska. You can bet your bottom dollar they got an email, right? Like, you branch out and you send all these generic emails with your film to these coaches. And the best part, I don't know if you guys saw at the beginning when I showed you guys, but it said that 419 coaches had viewed my profile, right? So you get real-time email, like Louisiana State University just viewed your profile. Texas A&M just viewed your profile. Louisiana State University just viewed your video. Texas A&M just viewed your video. Tennessee just viewed your profile, right? Like, all of these coaches, as they view your profile and as they view your videos, you get like alerts. So you know who's kind of like looking out for you. And then on top of that, your email and your phone number were built into the website. So it's like they knew how to contact you. So the minute you sent that email, you hearing back from them was not like oh my gosh, like, am I going to hear back? No, like, if they wanted to call you, they got your number. If they wanted to email you, they have your email, right? So that's what led up to June 15th. And I know you guys heard me mention that in my email. And June 15th is just when college coaches can reach out to athletes. So boom, June 15th rolls around and that's when it gets good, y'all. That's when it starts, cooking up. So yeah, like I told you guys, June 15th comes around, and prior to June 15th, I had sent all these emails, right? And my club director, Alyssa, is kind of just like, oh, like, June 15th's coming around. Like, if you want, you can come spend the day at our place, which, if you guys haven't gathered that this lady is amazing already, like, she extended, like, the offer of me going over to, like, her place and spending June 15th there just so that she can help me handle emails and things like that. And one, I don't remember why I couldn't go, but there was a reason that I couldn't go. But two, that disbelief is still in my head of like, oh, like, it can't be that bad. Or like, it won't be that crazy, right? It's just June 15th. Wrong. In bed, June 14th, the night before June 15th. I mean, I guess it ends up being June 15th at 12 a.m., but I'm in bed laying down. And at this point, I had no business at the age of, 16, because it was June and my birthday's in May. I had no business at the age of 16 being an avid email checker, right? But I was. So I go to my email and I refresh at 12 a.m. on the dot. Why is Mary Wise in my DMs? Mary Wise in the Florida Gators volleyball program texted or sent me an email at 12 a.m. And remember how I told you guys Florida would matter? Like, isn't it just crazy that we were at the like pub place, like sports bar, watching a Florida game, and she was like, oh, you can play for Florida one day, and then Florida was the first school to email me. Like, full circle moment, so cute. So like, I'm not there now, but that's just like so cute to point out, right? So Florida emails me, and I remember this email vividly because A, it's the first one that I got, and B, I remember it like being funny, right? She was like, happy like June 15th, but the first thing I'm worried about is why you're reading this early. Shouldn't you be in bed? Like, it was just something cute, like, happy June 15th, but you should be asleep right now, right? And I'm like, oh, ha ha ha. Like, but that's when it hit. I'm like, you know what? Let me shut this phone, roll over, and go to bed, because tomorrow's gonna be a long day, which it was. Like, June 15th, in the most humble way speaking, was literally insane. Like, it was crazy. I remember my first call today was scheduled with Georgia, and I screwed it up because apparently 9 a.m. in Omaha isn't 9 a.m. in Georgia, but 16-year-old me who thought she knew everything didn't know that. So I ended up like messing up my call with the Georgia coach, and I was just like, oh, like, bummer. But my next call was with Syracuse, and I remember Syracuse vividly because they offered me on the phone. It's literally June 15th, as early as can be, about 11 a.m. Haven't even eaten like lunch yet. And I'm on the phone with Syracuse, and they're just like, oh, like, happy June 15th, blah, 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 talk. We would like to offer you. And of course, I have no idea. I'm just like, wow, coach, thank you. Like, this is so cool. Like, what? First offer, that's literally insane. And then, like, from there, obviously, it started going up. And then throughout the day, like, you would just get more emails from coaches. Like, some of them were, like, kind of long shot kind of emails. Like, hey, we're just introducing ourselves. Don't worry. We'll let, like, we know it's going to be crazy on, like, today and tomorrow. So we'll talk to you next week, right? Some coaches were like, get us this questionnaire back. We want to know more about you. We want to know your height. We want to know your standing reach. Like, all the, like, statistic, like, number stuff. And, like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? Like, what do you like to do? All that stuff, right? So June 15th was literally an insane day as far as recruiting goes and as far as emails and texts and phone calls, all that stuff. And I don't know if I have them on my phone right now, but let me actually see. I remember while I was getting recruited, I was like, there's no shot I'm going to remember what coach I'm talking to. So I went to voice memos. I have them on my phone. I went to voice memos and I'd be like, oh, well, actually, let me just let you guys listen. Hold on. We'll see if you guys can hear.
Just got off the phone with Iowa State. The coach was very nice and sweet, but I wouldn't.
I'm mad that that's how my voice sounded when I was 16. Hold on. So that was like Iowa State.
I got off the coach with Coach Donathan. I got off the phone with Coach Donathan from Arkansas not too long ago. She was a great coach to talk.
Arkansas.
I got off the phone with Marquette before I got off the phone with. Got off the phone with TCU earlier.
And I remember. Hold on.
Just got off the phone with University of Tennessee. It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Was it?
Just got off the phone with Coach Canfield at Florida A&M. Definitely loved the conversation.
Oh, that was so cute.
Just got off the phone with Head Coach Bird at Texas A&M. Loved the conversation. Very chill, very laid back. And it was a FaceTime. So we talked about a lot of things. And it was less of a volleyball conversation because I already had one of those with the other coaches at A&M, but this was more of like a get to know you, chill type conversation, which I absolutely love. And yeah, it sounds good. Living at A&M, would definitely love to go down there and check things out. Yeah.
Oh, you checked things out already. You committed, and now you're an A&M volleyball player. But yeah, I literally would get off the phone with the coach and I'd go to my voice notes and I'd be like, okay, like just got off the phone with Tennessee, like this is how it went, just got off the phone with LSU, just got off the phone with like whatever school I talked to, just so that I could like help remember, like, did I like this school? Did I not? Did I like this coach? Did I not? Right? So after June 15th was kind of crazy. And then fast forward to volleyball season for high school starting. And that was just like, I mean, it was fine. It was high school volleyball, playing varsity finally. But yeah, that was cool too. And then October rolls around and it was end of September that I went on my official visits, because at this point COVID is still like plaguing like, you know, the world. So it's like some coaches are extending officials, some coaches are not. Like if they wanted you bad enough, they would have given you official. But I was just like, you know what, I'm not about to wait any longer. And part of it was just like, again, humbly speaking, in the most humble way possible, I'm not about to talk to 30 coaches every single, like I'm not doing that. But like I need to hurry up and commit so that like I can be done, right? Because at some point it just gets like, again, grateful, humble, beyond blessed. But at some point it's just like, all right, bro, like I'm not about to schedule a call with y'all every single day, right? And then some schools I just knew I wasn't going to from the jump. Like I'm from Nebraska, right? Let me tell y'all something about that Midwest line, right? That let's take the U.S., split it in half. There's no shot I am going anywhere above, unless we step over into like the West Coast. You know, I'll go to like a little Northern California. I'll do a little Oregon. What? You think I'm going to New England? You think I'm going to New York? And absolutely not, right? So I'm just like, I'm not going to states colder. I knew I wanted to play in the SEC, so that like led into my decision. And I remember I was talking to school. And they're like, oh yeah, like we're a great school, great program, you know, telling us about all their awards. Like we just got this new facility, we have new Terraflex, we don't have a football program. Our locker rooms are, you don't have a what? I'm sorry. You don't have a what? Like what makes you think I'm about to commit to y'all school? Not that my priorities aren't straight, but like, what do you mean you don't have a football team, right? Like it was just certain stuff that I was just not going for, right? So when it came down to taking my unofficial visits, which was like our time, our gas, our like everything, I decided on narrowing down to 3 schools: Clemson, Tennessee, and A&M. And that's kind of when my decision-making process came to be. So yeah, like I told you guys, it's now September, end of September, creeping into October, and my brother and I take it upon ourselves, because at this point, like I said, I'm done waiting. Like, I'm not doing this any longer. We hop in a car, a little rental, you know, got ourselves a little Dodge Charger. We hopped in a car and went on a little road trip. So we went to those 3 schools that I told you guys about, and I started off with Clemson. And when I tell you guys, had I went to like Clemson and any other school and just went home, I would have committed to Clemson, because I went there and, again, flashbacks to how I'm obsessed with football, love football to the core. Quarantine, I can't tell you how many times I watched that LSU Clemson football game. I probably could have ran the routes myself in the backyard, like the whole Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow. Like, I was so into like football and college football. Clemson at the time had an amazing football program, so I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm like, you got me, because I wanted to go to school that not only had a good volleyball program but had good like other sports, right? Like volleyball, basketball, football, all around. So Clemson, of course, had a great football team. And I was like, I want all parts. So I get on campus. It's super cute, super homey. Like, it's super warm. You'll get your rain, like all that cute stuff. And the day that I went, and I know that this is like all the time, so I shouldn't feel special, but I have a picture of the sunset somewhere in my Snapchat memories. I probably could pull that up too. But the day that I went, the sunset was literally purple and orange. And if you guys know, Clemson colors are purple and orange. And y'all, when I tell you guys that was the cutest thing ever, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm coming to Clemson, this is it. And like, if you drive through Clemson, there are paw prints like on the streets, like as if some like giant tiger was like walking I was like, this is so cute. Like, I'm so in love, I'm so sold. Go to a Clemson bookstore, give me a bright orange hoodie that says Clemson in all purple letters. I give me a keychain, I give me sweatpants, I give me like socks. Like, I'm ready for these commitment pictures, right? Like, I'm decked out in Clemson gear. And then I end up coming to A&M, and y'all, when I tell you guys everything changed the second like I pulled up to A&M, right? So I got here, me and my brother, again, this is unofficial, so it's not like coach, and this was a dead period, I think. And like, I literally insisted, I was like, bro, I don't even have to see y'all don't even have to be involved, just let me come, like, just, and I don't know if I can even tell this story. I don't know if the NCAA is gonna like, you know, take my eligibility. Please don't, I'm on the come up. But I just like pulled up with my brother, and I was just like, okay, like, I'm on campus, and I let the coaches know, like, stay out of your office. Like, I don't want to break any rules. Like, stay out of your offices. Like, don't let me see you, all that good stuff. So I pull up to campus, see the town, love the town. And if you guys know, college towns aren't typically where you'll find like a big city life, right? You're not going to find all the places to eat, you're not going to find all the activities to do, but College Station has pretty good balance, right? Like, there are so many places to eat here. Like, you'll find any food that there's Chick-fil-A, there's Panda Express, there's Chipotle, there's like all food that you could want. There's Wingstop, and some places don't have like good food spots, right? And that matters. And like, we have activities, we have big shots, we have bowling, we have like an arcade, we have so many fun things to do that it's like, I'm sold as a college student living here, right? And then, of course, like the big campus feel. I went to a huge high school. We had like 2,800 students, which is huge. I don't know if that's huge to other people, but that's huge. And like downtown high school, super prideful. Like, I wanted a school that had pride. I wanted a school that was like cocky and arrogant and like sure of who they were. And A&M might not be the best representation of cocky and arrogant. Not that you want to be cocky and arrogant, but as a fan base, right? Like, I wanted it to be like big and supportive and all that. And A&M is just that. And then, of course, like, the campus sells itself. It's so gorgeous, so beautiful. Facilities are top notch. Like, you will find some of the best facilities here at A&M that you will all across the NCAA, and I say that for a fact, right? So just the feeling of feeling like blessed and like fortunate to even have the opportunity to come play volleyball here and be a student here was super cool. So I get on the campus and I'm like, okay, like, screw the Clemson stuff. It's sitting in the car. I'm not I don't know what the return policy is, but I can't take it back. Like, we're in Texas, that was in South Carolina, I'm going home to Nebraska, right? So kept all the Clemson stuff, but I was just like, no, like, A&M is where I want to be, it's where I want to go. So I get home and I like Zoom with all the A&M coaches, and I have like a Texas A&M, it says Texas A&M like right here, it's a shirt, but I FaceTime them or Zoom them neck up. It's like, hey guys, I have something to tell you. And they're like, what? And I like pop my shirt down, and I'm like, or pop the camera down to my shirt, and I'm like, I'm committing. And they're like, whoa, woohoo, so cute. So yeah, all that happens, talk to them on the phone, all that good stuff. And then fast forward to a year from then, I ended up circling back around in September of 2021, it had to have been, because I committed in 2020. 2021, September of then, I came on my official visit, which this second time around, like, COVID has like flushed down. Officials are like a thing again. Not that they weren't before, but like, it was very selective. But at this point, I'm committed, right? So it's the official visit that technically I was owed as a recruit that I never ended up getting. So I call my official, and this is literally, if I wasn't sold before, which I was committed at that point. I had no choice but to be sold. This is literally what sold me to the school. So I come on my official visit, and we're watching a volleyball game, and it just so happens to be the Texas game. And if you were an A&M student that was at the Texas game, or if you were an A&M fan that was at the Texas game, I don't think Reed has ever been more full for a volleyball game, right? Like, the place seats like what, 14,000 people. I could be wrong, but what I can tell you is there were at least 12,000 rounding down. We could have been 13 if we're rounding up. 12,000 people packed into Reed watching A&M volleyball play Texas, right? And like just seeing 12,000 people in that environment, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and the walk out of the tunnel, because like when you walk, if you know, you know, like when you walk out of the tunnel and like into Reed, it's just like the place slowly, like it like eats you up as you walk into it. It's like at first you see nothing, and then you see more and more, and you see people to your side and people behind, and it just gets insane. I was just like, oh yeah, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to play, like this is it, like I picked the right place. And I mean, I guess long story short, long story short, after I've been blabbing for 20 minutes, right? Long story short, I can fast forward to now. I'm here at A&M. I'm literally so happy that I chose to be here. Wouldn't want it any other way. I can't say that A&M was like a dream school or where I wanted to be, or like I was a diehard Aggie growing up. I knew nothing of Texas A&M, honestly. Like before getting to know it, because I was getting recruited, I knew nothing about Texas A&M. And just getting to know the school, becoming a student, becoming a volleyball player here, like a student athlete, feeling as blessed as I am, because that is what we are, right? Like we're extremely blessed. Like we're really fortunate to be athletes here at Texas A&M. I'm just so glad this is where I chose. And whether or not you guys keep up with us, you would know we just had a recent coaching change. And I feel like that's just like added on to the blessings, right? Like I love our new coaching staff. They're like the best people that God could have placed in my life. I don't know that I can speak for everybody, but they're the best people that God could have placed in my life. Volleyball wise, school wise, and how they support like our academics, personally, like how they'll just like, I mean, this isn't a volleyball staff video, but like they just, those people are amazing. They just know you and they care about you and love you so much as a person. And it's so nice to feel that, right? Because you'll hear like D1 like horror stories, or like I survived D1 volleyball, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like why did you think that was okay? Like how did you like make it through 4 years of that, right? So just to know that it is bad at some places, right? Like it's a blessing that we have it the way that we do, and we're fortunate to be in the situation that we are. Yeah, y'all, if you guys stayed till the end of the video, you're literally awesome and great. But there goes my volleyball story and kind of how 5th grade me made it to 19-year-old sophomore in college me as a volleyball player, and what that kind of looked like. So yeah, like I said, thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. If you did, let me know if you guys like this video. Let me know if you guys want to know more about like sports recruits and my recruiting, even though I feel like I gave y'all this sauce. Like I personally, if I was a recruit, I'd take this video and run with it. You know what I'm saying? This is free game. They don't give you game the way I just gave you game, right? So I personally would take the video and run with it. But if you guys want more tips and tricks, or like anything else that you guys want to know, literally ask me. I can make a video. You could DM me on Instagram. Like you guys don't talk to me, so it's not like my DMs are flooded. So if you guys want to DM me on Instagram, literally like, hey Tall, like I have a question about recruiting, I got you, homegirl. Like it's literally what I'm here for. I got you. Just let me know, shoot me a text, and I will get right back to y'all. But until next time, thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video.